Welcome back to Connect Conversations, styled by Hidden Hideout. Today I'm delighted to be joined by ex-professional football player Jason Naismith. How are we, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Thank you for joining me.
No, it's a pleasure.
Going to get right back to the start before we kind of get into some of the football stuff. Paint a picture for us. What was life like for you growing up? What kind of kid were you?
Just normal. Well, I'd probably describe as normal. Don't know if my mum and dad would say that, but normal. Just obviously grew up in Paisley. Just loved getting out to play. Probably not the same nowadays, is it? But it's like just constantly out, constantly playing football, manhunt, everything, wasn't it? Like summers and.
I miss it.
Did I miss it?
I miss it.
You miss it? No, definitely. It was the best ever. But just normal upbringing. Mum and dad gave me a really good upbringing. From Foxbar and Paisley. But mental, obviously, area. But I stayed in a really nice estate, so can't have any grumbles, to be honest.
Can't complain too much. Aye. What were you really interested in outside of football? Was it all sport, or were there other things that you? Was it just
football?
Aye.
Just football. Aye.
Every day after school, at school.
Literally.
Like, loved it.
Literally every day. Just as early as I remember. Just me, my friend Jordan, going out every day. School, obviously you played in school as well, didn't you? And then just at night, as soon as you're home from school, and for your mate. And then phones came out, didn't they? Oh, it was a house phone. That's what you used to remember. I used to phone. I used to phone.
I don't get the smartphones.
I used to phone Jordan's house, and then his mum would be like, "Why do you not just come in for him?" So that was it. Just out again, and just hundreds of tuna sandwiches. That was in nutrition. So I still go back to my mum's now for a tuna sandwich. And
that you go to.
So good, man. Tuna meal. That's like a comfort. So. Aye, just that and playing football.
Did you always know you were going to be a pro footballer, or was it always something, because everybody's got those kind of aspirations as they're getting older, even when they're younger, sorry. Did you always know?
I knew I wanted to be one, but I knew it was going to be hard. I definitely knew it was going to be hard, but I put everything into it, basically. I was good in school, intelligent, all the rest of it, but just everything into football. And then again, it was like one of them ones, your school teacher asked you, you start getting serious, what do you want to be in that? And I was just always like, footballer. And I just kind of dedicated my life from an early age, really, to want to achieve that and just worked as hard as I could. And as I said, every day, and then fortunate enough, obviously, started to do well with that as well.
Did that come naturally, that drive?
Don't know. Probably, I don't think my dad wasn't really pushy. My dad was brilliant with me, still is, really supportive. But he was never like one of the dads, I see it a lot now obviously as well, and they own their kids all the time, like they want to live their dream through their kids. It wasn't like that. He'd obviously gave me the right guidance and stuff like that and played football with me from a young age, but I just loved it. It was obviously in me to want to be a footballer.
I remember when I was younger, just like, you don't get it nowadays, but after school, now people just like go home, play iPads, PS5, whatever. When I was younger, I just remember constantly, because that desire to go and play games wasn't there because it wasn't such a big thing, but I just wanted to, as soon as I finished school, bap it and play football. And you'd play till the sun went down, and even after that you'd play right into the night as well. Did you find yourself just constantly just playing?
Aye, loved it. Just other things I know, like I said earlier, like manhunt, all that stuff. Kirby, remember Kirby?
Oh, Kirby.
I took my nephew at like a month ago or something. I was like, do you want to give me a Kirby? I didn't think he knew what it was. And absolutely hammered him with it, like 21 or something like that. But no, just everything, just dead active. Loved it. Absolutely no regrets from my childhood. Just loved basically every minute of it. And my mum and dad, they had a caravan as well in Dunoon. So we'd spend my weekends there as I started getting a wee bit older. Again, just amazing place. And then when I signed with St Mirren, we had to grid it because my games were on a Sunday. So it was like negative and positive.
How did that feel?
I hate it. I honestly loved the caravan, man. It was so good. I had somebody in for Dunoon actually in my gym the other day. It was quite funny. My mum and dad used to, honestly, they would give us a fiver and we'd go in the swimming pool, like me and Jordan again. right, away swimming. And I don't know how young we were, I don't want to get my dad done, but they would go to Sinbad's in Dunoon, when Jerry Sinman sings. So literally it was mobbed, and we were standing outside like trying to get my dad's attention, hitting the window and stuff. You could see him, but you obviously couldn't get in to tell him. Then they come out and give us even more money, probably bribe us and tell us to go to, remember Woolworths and that? Here, go and get yourself a wrestler. Go and get yourself a wrestler or something. That was us again, like just kicking about Dunoon. Like, so.
That's a proper throwback Woolworths.
I know. So it was good. You got streetwise for it as well, obviously. It was amazing. Like, just such a good upbringing.
I don't feel like kids are the streetwise these days.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Stuck in the house or stuck in the room. Instead playing like Assassin's Creed or whatever game it might be, even FIFA, EA. That's called EA now, isn't it? FC 26. Sorry, FC, honestly, brutal. There's playing those games all night, and it's like the actual when they get into the real world, there's pure no awareness at it.
You've probably had it with PTs as well, but I always find like young boys, man, like not every one of them, I must say, but like a lot of them are like really, really socially. You're like, I don't know if it's just a weird, maybe I was like that when I was that age, but some of them are like, oh my god, like get something back. Conversation can be a long 45 minutes into it if you go into it and you're like, what were you up to the weekend? Nothing. And I've had boys maybe 2 or 3 sessions in, and I'll go to ask my question, and I'm just cutting them. I'm like, right, don't say nothing. If you say nothing, you're going out, you're leaving. Give me something to work with here, and then like they'll have a laugh. But I think it kind of hampers them as well in terms of socially. Aye. Maybe COVID was a big thing, I know, probably for that kind of age group where they were coming into their teenage years. That was probably a big effect for them, wasn't it? But no, it's definitely changed days.
Aye, COVID definitely had a massive impact, I think, and not even just in that social kind of element in terms of speaking, but you know, I relate it to kids that were swimming and you know coming in now, kids that are maybe 8 or 9. I've never swam in a pool before, and you're just like they've missed out on so much through that. Aye. What values or traits do you think you picked up, kind of growing up and you know through family environment? Start with
probably just family values. Family so important. Respect's a big thing, massive thing. I think it's one of the biggest things. Respect for people, and obviously gaining respect of people. It's massive. Even if you don't like somebody, if you respect them, or vice versa, if they don't respect you, you don't respect them. It's kind of a bad place to be in. And fun. Just I love having a laugh, as you've probably heard through people or whatever. But I just like obviously laughing and having a laugh. Never really take life too serious until I need to work. No. And it's always kind of done me well. People are a wee bit too serious as well, aren't they? And it's like it's hard to kind of get along with people, I think. But
people take life too seriously sometimes. I feel.
Aye, it's good to have a laugh. So probably that. Aye, respect, family, and just fun. Like have fun. I say that even now, like people that come and see me for PTs, like I've always done that since I started, like try and make the gym fun, because nobody likes staying in the gym, do they? No. Nobody likes staying in the gym. That's my full mantra, like my new place is people need to leave happier than they came in, because I know I date myself, I sit in the motor and you're thinking, oh my god, I need to get in this building, man, and basically hurt myself for 45 minutes, but if they come out better for it, then they'll want to come back. That's the important thing.
Do you feel like respect something that not just younger generation but general people lack?
Oh, major.
Even just places and thank yous, I find like young people don't, it's not just young people, but just in general, the lack of respect in that sense.
It's mental, man. Like I think a lot of that's to do with again how you were raised. It's probably softer now in terms of parenting. Like an instant maybe 2 months ago, I thought I was going to get battered off the young team, but I was in Greg's. Probably not. I'm like the most unconventional PT ever.
Balance.
I was in Greg's. I was only getting a juice, and
that's what you tell us.
Aye, but this wee guy was like touching the food net, and there was an older woman working in Greg's, and she was like, "Lads, don't touch the food net, but if you're not going to like buy it." And he's like looked at her, pure grilled her, and went out and like now they've got sausage rolls. That's how I was raging, because he started like hitting the sausage rolls, and I was like. I just felt as if I had to say something. So I was like, how? And like said to him, don't be a wee, whatever I said. And he's like growling at me as well. So I'm staring off for this like 12-year-old. So if you see this, get your dad in, we'll fight. No, but it was like, but I seen them come when I'm in the shop, and I thought, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be rolling about with about 15 v 12-year-olds battering me. Like, battering me. Aye. I lived through the scheme for Figi as well, so I was a wee bit apprehensive walking out.
I've been in the papers, mate.
I know. But even like instances like that would have never happened. So, although I was like, maybe, you are when you're younger, aren't you? You're a wido. But again, that's probably with respect. I would never ever have done that to, like, especially an older woman.
Aye.
Whereas I think now it's a wee bit, it's not acceptable, but you're like, some of the videos and that you see as well, you're like, oh, that just wouldn't have happened.
Aye.
But maybe again, that's just me getting old.
Aye, we're both getting old, mate. As I said, when I was younger, I feel that I wasn't that disrespectful, but I feel like the things I do now, I'm like, God, people used to do that to me. I feel like I'm now old, I'm the one doing that to people.
Aye.
It's mad. Do you have any early setbacks or moments as a kid that toughened you up?
Probably all the time. Regards to football, just dealing with setbacks constantly. You don't really realise it at the time, but if you keep letting, I keep saying this to all my boys now that I take, if you keep letting setbacks define you, then you'll not go anywhere. So probably dealt with minor ones along the way that maybe would have turned into major if I allowed it. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yep.
Nah, obviously people passing away and stuff round about you that are important to you, but no, nothing in terms of anything major growing up. Nah, as I said, had a really smooth childhood. My mum and dad were brilliant for me. Obviously growing up in Paisley, there was times that you could go down the wrong path, but I think early doors I made that decision for myself that I wasn't going to do that. Again, just getting back to the previous point of wanting to be a football player, I probably realised really early and realised as well, thankfully, that I could hang about with them and end up like that, or I could just be a weirdo and like dedicate my life to being a football player. And then that gets harder as you get older, obviously, because all your mates are going out in the street getting mad with it, and you're like,
you've almost got a choice to make.
Looks good, does look good, and you're like, but I never done it. And obviously just trained all the time, and it paid dividends in the end. But even if it didn't, I would have been happy with what I'd done, do you know what I mean? Because then I would have gave it my best shot. If it was all the way about, and I'd done stuff when I was younger that never gave me the best chance, I'd have been scunnered when I got older, because, as I said, I just worked so hard to become a fitter player. If I let myself down the other side of it, I'd have been scunnered. I think that happens with a lot of young boys in Scotland, whether it's wrong crowd, no dealing with setbacks, they'll just kind of go off the rails. I think it's just the society and culture here, isn't it? You're seen as maybe a bit of a weirdo if you don't do that kind of stuff.
If you don't stick with the crowd.
The norm, aye. Obviously, everything goes out, and again, I don't know if it was different when I was younger, but obviously, young teams and that, wasn't it? And it was like out in the streets and mental and
Buckfast, frothy jacks.
No, I drink that. Know what I mean? I can drink it now. Mad Dog, brilliant man. But just at the time, I was like, nah. I'm so glad.
In terms of that youth structure you spoke about, it's not also something I was just going to touch on, but so that you brought it up, how do you feel that is in Scotland? Because obviously you're on that side of things in terms of, you know, having been an ex-pro, coming up through the youth system. How do you feel it is now? Do you feel like it's as bad as people say, or do you feel like it needs a lot of work?
In terms of what, society or the
just
football?
In terms of kids coming through from a young age through academies, then getting a chance. You know, I see it big clubs like, you know, Rangers and Celtic don't feel like they get that chance, but obviously there's so much pressure there. But then clubs like St Mirren are really good at bringing through youth, and then them going on to do really good things.
I think it's a bit of both. I think obviously the players need a chance. I just think the attitude's changed as well, though. Obviously speaking to older players and that are still in the game, and I just feel as if when you get an opportunity, this is speaking for older, younger players, so like under 19s, and when you would go into training with the first team, you'd be so nervous and like willing to eager to impress and stuff like that. I think now it's like maybe a good thing as well that they're like kind of no swaggering about, but they give me a wee bit of like swagger, which I think is a good thing, but I don't know if they care as much. I don't know, and I think generally it's a thing that I've spoke about recently. I think football's like, it's hard for like people without money. Do you know what I mean? Every sport in Scotland is really, really hard for grassroots players, and because you go to pro youth teams now, and like I obviously see it logistically with teams, they're asking boys to go and play away to Dundee, and like I'm like, he's getting a bus up. No, we have to make it, and I'm like, how are you going to make your own way there? Like, what if your mum and dad are working, or like I don't.
There's the logistics behind it.
I was lucky as well, because my dad had his own business. He would drive me everywhere, and again, so grateful for that, because if he didn't, then you're like, you wouldn't have really had a chance of making it. There's obviously boys for the scheme and all that, and you think a club's doing enough in terms of if they're scouting them, then are they trying to actually sort them out to get them in these places? I don't know. I actually don't know. I think it's a lot harder then for the players to, and then maybe I think we lose a lot of talent because of that.
Yep.
In terms of distance of games and stuff like that, but it's a bit of both. Going back to the question, I think obviously the clubs need to trust players a lot more as well. Like I've got obviously boys. I train a lot of younger athletes, and like for instance, I look at the championship last weekend, and every team, I'm sure you're allowed 9 subs, right? So you get 9 subs now, but every one of the teams is like cutting the benches now to like 6 and 7, and no putting young boys on the bench. And I'm like, why would you know? Just even if they're not going to go on,
what harm is it?
I put them on the bench, and then they can see the way like a professional act, like before a game.
Right.
Or the way Scott Brown is talking to teams, his players, because it's a completely different ball game for then playing an under-19s game. So if they get them involved in that environment, it can only be a positive. Even if the managers, the only thing I could think about would be like they don't want the warm-ups to break down in standard. Aye. Just put them on the side then and let them just ping about the ball. Like, do you know what I mean? If they're then involved in a professional game, how good, I'm taking myself back, I would still feel good if I was 16, 17 and you're on a professional pitch zinging a ball about. If they deserve it, which they must, there must be players in the academy and they've all got academies, but like even a wee thing like that, I'm just thinking put boys on the bench and give them experience, and then they know then how to act in that environment, and it's not just they get put into a game and it's like, wow, what is this? Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's completely different.
Between them.
I feel like under 19s to then first team football.
Because moving on to yourself, and it was kind of a nice link that I wanted to make. You came through the St Mirren youth system. When did you actually join St Mirren?
When I must have been 11 or 12, I think.
They're really good. So they were really good with you starting out as well.
They tried to sign me 3 or 4 times, and I said no. My dad's a big St Mirren fan. I think I said this in an Earth podcast, but I was on trial with him, and I didn't really enjoy the full structure of like pro youth, and it was dead serious. I just loved playing my mates. It was like my team in Paisley were just like mental, like really good boys, but I just loved it. It was so much fun. And when I went to then train with St Mirren, it was that kind of way. I knew I wanted to be a football player, but I didn't like the training. I was like, I hate this, man, it's so serious.
What about it did you not like? Just
the seriousness and like coaching, and like it was, and I didn't struggle because they wanted to sign me, but it was just, I just didn't enjoy it. I thought it was dead cliquey, and I just didn't like it. And I remember going down, I was honestly due to go down to the stadium to sign with St Mirren, Love Street, and my dad, he was getting ready up the stairs, and I was down the stair, and I was like, I was in tears. I was like, I don't want to sign. And he came down and came through the living room, and I just burst into tears. I was only a wee guy, but I was like, he was like, what's up? I said, I don't want to sign with St Mirren. And I felt as if I was letting him down because of all the stuff he'd done for me, and he was just like, that's fine, you don't need to sign. And it just like felt like a pressure off me. I remember David Longwell at the time, who was the head of youth all the way through for me. he wasn't too happy. I remember my dad phoning him and he was raging because I don't know what, they were probably waiting on me down the stadium. But knocked it back, and then I think a year or two later they were still wanting to sign me, and my boys club then were starting to probably, as I said earlier, get into stupid stuff.
Yep.
People getting jailed and arrested. It was just nutcases, but and that was a case of me then. It was the right time. Do you know what I mean? It was like, right, let's get serious now. So I was about 11, 12 that I went there. But it was perfect timing for me. I said this as well. I think if I went when I was going to sign, I would have got a bit scunnered. So it just shows you how fine the margins are. Like if I was there for 9 to 11, I think I'd have just been like, this is crap. Do you know what I mean? I kind of fell in love with football. And it was just right timings for me. So somebody must have been looking down on me.
They always say it's about timings, don't they? It's just overused, but I do believe in it. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens at the right times. Going through the youth system, how was that overall for you? Was it quite a smooth journey then, going through each kind of age group? Or
aye, it was good, but again hard. I say to all my boys I know, because they just think it's so smooth. They think it's like, oh, they play all the time and just.
It's like you joined the academy, you just made your debut. It was like just that.
Aye. It was hard. I had to fight for everything. Same way, obviously, me and McGinn came through, Craig Slater. They all went on to have careers. But there was so many bumps along the way. Like, there was so many age groups. I would start the season, I'd be on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And like, I have that now with boys, and they just want to chuck it. They want to leave teams, or they want to move teams. And I'm like, why? Like, it's the start of the season. Like, keep fighting for your place. And then I would get into the team, and then they're back to now the same structure. So it goes from 15s to under 17s. So again, I went for no playing 15s. I was on the bench. I was thinking, right, I think I'm going to leave here. Because not in terms of me wanting to leave, I just think I'm going to get released. But still worked as hard. Got in the team, done well at the end of the season. And then the next season again, it went to 17. So it was like older boys, you were in me. And that's the way it is now. So a lot of boys struggle with that because they've played all the way up. And then obviously they're going to start the season with the older boys. But you just need to keep plugging away. When you get to this time of year, obviously it's like, I hate the cringe sayings in it, but you just need to outlast everything. Do you know what I mean? And it is how you deal with these setbacks of like, are you just going to sulk and what's the point? Like, you've worked so hard to get to that point, you just got to feel sorry for yourself because you're not playing. I went for then no playing for under 17s first year to again finishing the season well. I think I got offered a contract then, full time. Like, they were looking at me thinking, right, full time. I'm sure it was.
Professional contract.
Aye. So it went for like being 15. I was about to turn 16. So 3 people got a contract. I was one of them. And then literally 6 months later, I was like the captain of the 19s. And that season, I was on the bench for the first team for the first time. So it went for me no playing for the under 17s to 6 months in or 7 months in. I started playing, played really well at the end of the season. All you need, even the same with the first team, you need 2 or 3 good months and you've got to get a move somewhere. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So I say this to all the boys, football changes so quickly. Life changes so quickly, it's not just football. You just need to keep working hard and you'll get what you deserve in the end. That's it.
You must have seen so much of it through your time, both playing, not playing, people dropping off, people giving up. Mm-hmm. If you had a lot of people come to you, and obviously, yeah, well, we are the people that you work with, but outside of that, and you had people reach out to you, people say, you know, I'm having a really shite time, or I'm feeling bad, I want to quit, even maybe people that are younger in the squad. How did you feel helping them? Did you feel that mentor role was natural?
First football?
Yeah, just even in general.
Even when I was in like the first team, or like now?
In home.
I think I was always good with youth players as well when I was in the first team. Like, and I'll ask the boys now that are kind of more under 19s and stuff, who's good in the first team, because I'll still know boys that are playing, and I'll ask them. I've got a few boys at St Mirren as well, and I'll ask them like, who's good with you at the first team, because I know for a fact I'd be finishing training, then I'd be bored and I'd be at the youth building just to annoy them and wind them up, and but it's good for them because they love that and they love chatting obviously to professionals. But you try and help obviously everybody. especially younger ones. Every club I went to, I was kind of involved, obviously, with the younger ones and try to make them feel connected to the first team. And I used to love players that would ask you stuff. Do you know what I mean? And willing to learn, and like it was good because then you want to help the boys. Again, a few of them would make it, and a few of them wouldn't. But at least you tried.
Speaking more to your days at St Mirren, and probably taking it slightly back, making your debut against Aberdeen. What was that like for you? Were you nervous? Did you feel any pressure? Were you like, I'm ready for this, I'm ready?
Can you swear on this? No swearing.
I was
absolutely shite myself, aye. I remember warming up. And
when did you find out you were?
Like, big cheesy, Mark McCausland got a wee eye knock, but I didn't think it was much of it. I was on the bench, like, probably eating tea cakes or something like that. And I went out to warm up, and literally, he's went in, and the physio, the sports scientist, ran out saying, you're going on. I was like, no bother, I thought he was winding me up. He's like, no, Cheesy's fractured his eye socket, you need to go in at half time. It was on Sky Sports, and I was like, shaking, man. I was like, oh my God, it was just whirlwind, do you know what I mean? And then I wasn't ready, I genuinely wasn't ready, mentally, more than anything. Like, I just wasn't ready. And I came on, Celtic jerseys, lost the goal. Sky Sports, I just remember, I just wanted the ground to eat me up, man. I was like, oh my God, I've made an arse of it. Like, I've worked so hard for this, and I've let myself down. Like, I just knew, I was like, I could have done better, man. Just wasn't ready. And then I played the next week. We drew one each with Aberdeen. I think we scored like late on. We scored like the 87th minute, and they went up and I got too tight to Scott Vernon. He rolled me, scored. I was like, it's a weird way to describe it, but when you're on a pitch and there's fans and all that there, you just want the grunt to eat you up. And I was like, that was my fault. Aye. That was my fault. I remember Lee Mayer was playing centre back with me, texted me that night, and he was like, great debut and all that today, and I was like, no, it wasn't.
You just sitting there, just couldn't stop thinking about that moment.
I think a lot of young boys are deluded now as well in terms of actually looking at themselves and having that responsibility. I was just like, I was shite today. I wasn't good. It was alright, but I could have played better, and obviously I gave away the goal. And I played the next week at Easter Road, and I thought, this is quite easy, isn't it? And then I thought I'd made it.
Started to find your rhythm.
Aye, and then I didn't play again for another 2 years or something. So, a year and a half, whatever it was. I was just miles off it. And my attitude probably got to a point where I thought I'd arrived and I'd made it, and I was miles off it. So I went on loan the next season, had a stinker, and it came really close to me leaving St Mirren then. And they gave me another year. And I think the only reason they gave me another year was off my past, like playing with Scotland 17s and 18s. And do you know what I mean? Like, because I was a pro internationalist, they probably thought maybe there's something there.
Yep.
But it was just a bad time for me. And then I was just so relieved getting the extra year contract. It was like...
Do you feel it was like a second chance?
It was just a chance. It was a chance, and it was like, I remember, honestly, it was like 120 quid a week I was on. And I was going to be a first team player. There was no more 19s. I couldn't even play 19s, I don't think. Maybe I could have, maybe last year, I can't remember. But it was basically, right, your first team now. So you basically, if you're not making it after 3, 4, 5 months, January, you get on loan to some place and you'll be away. I remember going up north with my family that summer, and I was like, I'm going to just give this everything. And I went running up and down the sand dunes, just got so fit. Peter McDonald, Paisley. I played with him at Morton the year previous, and he kind of took me under his wing. Don't know why he took a shine to me. Weird guy. No, he liked me, and he done a lot for me that season as well. He was still playing at the time, and went to the gym with him, got really fit, and just came back flying pre-season. Gave myself the best chance, and then again, it goes for nearly getting released to October. I'm starting for the first team, and you're like, what's going on here?
But you put the work in. It's like you knew.
It doesn't happen by chance. Do you know what I mean?
100%. That's what I was just about to say. Is you knew in your head, you're like, I need to lock in here. Of what everything I've worked for since I was like 11, 12.
It was
a guy that didn't want to sign for St Mirren. You worked all the way through the youth academy, made your debut, and it was like, this is a make or break moment. I'm either going to accelerate here, or I'm going to go the other way.
It was a major fight. Like, going on loan to Morton was brilliant for me. Obviously they trained at Quarrier Village, and it was like a dump. No offence, it was a dump. Cowed and beef, obviously it's cowed and beef. It was, and the thing is, there was players at the teams that I thought they're well better than me, and they're at the championship. Do you know what I mean? A league below. And then I realised it was like, there's a lot of the players obviously now you realised in the lower leagues in Scotland are there for a reason, and they'll know that as well. But yeah, I was just like, they're better than me, man. I'm no chance. How am I meant to make it at St Mirren? But I just worked as hard as I could. And that's probably the difference, I think, between the levels, is just mentality as well. And that's how I was, and obviously luck. You need a lot of luck, but you earn a lot of luck as well.
Aye.
It's not just luck.
The saying in there is like, you make your own luck.
Aye, exactly. The harder you work, the luckier you get. It's like, and it's so true about everything. And that's, I came back and then started playing.
Flipping that round to captain in St Mirren, 21, talk me through that feeling.
It was amazing, it was amazing.
Proud moment?
It was the proudest moment of my career, definitely. As I say, I used to go to St Mirren games when I was a wee guy. My dad would take me. Again, he would sit in the wee barrow in Love Street, that's me grassing them into my mum, and send me and Jordan to Love Street with the 2 season books. He's like, I'll watch it in here, wee man, I'll see you after the game. As if he could watch it, you know what I mean, back then, like 2005, didn't have dodgy fire sticks back then, so he couldn't. But I would go to Love Street, go for a chippy after it. Loved, obviously, St Mirren. And then grew up, ended up a Rangers fan. I think I just like to go against the grain, against my dad. But no, listen, St Mirren's still my team, like very close to my heart, Paisley boy. And it was just such a proud moment. Stephen Thompson was a club captain, but he wasn't playing for some reason. He was on the bench, and it was the first time. It wasn't the first time I'd captained him. It was the first time I'd walked out basically as captain. Yep. It was a great moment, and then done my cruciate that game. So it was boom, right back to the
highs and lows of football.
Actually, I posted that the other day. It popped up on my feed, and it was like me as a. If people go on my page, they'll see it. Me as a 16-year-old under 19s, just went full time, so skinny, but just working hard all the time in the gym, just getting like, I was strong and aggressive, but I just hadn't obviously developed.
Aye.
And then it was like 4 years on, and it was when I'd captained St Mirren. I played at it was a 40 for Ibrox the week before we played at Rangers. Tomo missed that penalty. Do you ever remember that game? No.
It's just funny. I seen it on your page, right? I seen it on your page, and I went. I was trying to think back to the game because I haven't been gone for a while. I couldn't remember.
We were 2-0 down after 5 minutes. The first time we ever played Rangers as well, because when I started playing with St Mirren, they went down. And then we went down to the Championship and they were coming up. And I remember Stephen Thompson, obviously played with Rangers, won the treble and that. He was our captain. And we had a young team. And he's like that to us the day before. Just stay in the game. See, first 20 minutes and that. He says, just honestly start well. He says the crowd will go on their back at Ibrox.
Impatient as anything.
Aye, and then 5 minutes in, we're 2-0 down. I swear to God, it was the loudest I've ever heard Ibrox. I couldn't hear. The centre back was beside me. It was mental, like so. It was a Friday night as well, so it was probably steaming it again.
Aye.
The place was bouncing, and I was like, oh my God, we actually got to beat 10-0 here. I can't believe this. And then it ended up, it was 2-1, and it went for 2 each. Tomo, man, worst penalty ever on it. You can watch it back. It doesn't even look like a football player the way he hits it. It looks like one of the fans that gets on at half time.
We're going to find it and we're going to put it up on.
You better, I do, and then tag him because he gives me a bit on Instagram all the time. It was the worst penalty ever. I think that's how he got dropped a week later. So thanks for that, Tomo, to make me captain at one. But it was just, again, it was like such a high and then such a low, obviously, with my first major injury. That was the first major setback, going back to obviously the point earlier.
Because you'd worked so hard to get to that point, and then to get there, and then it was like, as I said, such a high, such a low. It must have been heartbreaking for yourself, and obviously our family as well watching.
It was like, it was a hard gene, to be fair. I remember, obviously, you feel it. It was like a car crash, my knee, and I was like, wow, what have I done there? Like, obviously, you know, you've done something serious.
Yep.
In tears, going off, getting stretchered off, and then just sitting in the physio room, and I was like, in such a bad state, because I was just like, I'm done, man. I'm not coming back from it. My knees are about that size. And Stephen Thompson and Goody were on the bench, Jim Goodwin, and they came in and just like consoled me. Amazing. My mum and my sister were there. Obviously they'd seen me in tears. My sister's the worst ever as well. She's dead emotional, so she was crying. And then Goody came in. I think my sister and my mum fancied Jim, so they were quite happy with that. They stopped eating and started doing their makeup. But Jim came up and obviously gave me a cuddle, and Tomo as well came in and just gave me really good advice, and just was like, again, don't get too high, don't get too low. He's like, throughout your full career. And obviously it was good to listen to people like that, because they were 33, 34, 35 at the time. And they were brilliant lawyers, like Stephen Thompson, Jim Goodwin, Gary Teal, David Van Zanten, all of them when we were coming into the team were amazing. Obviously Lee Mayer texting me when I made my debut. We had such good older professionals to guide us, and we all listened, because we had a lot of youth coming through as well at the time. So it's big that you're listening to these people as well.
Give you a bit of insight in terms of how to be a leader in the dressing room, and how to look after the younger players, especially during setbacks.
Because it probably happens, like, obviously now I'm passing on that advice to people, do you know what I mean, that get injured. Like I've got a young lassie that comes and sees me, Abby Hayes. She's just done a cruciate at Rangers, 17's captain. She's like, great player, just obviously such an athlete, and went away with Scotland, and just one thing, bang, done her knee. And you like feel so bad for her because of that, but I'm there for her now anytime she needs me. Any questions she's got, like her dad texts me or whatever, he knows that he can text me through her full rehab. And it was good to have all the people that had operations and older ones. So now obviously I can be there for the kind of players as well.
Yeah, talking about that mentoring role before we get into that, and just to cap off on almost the football section, if you like, what you said about the captain in St Mirren, was that the moment that stands out the most, or do you feel there's another moment that
in terms of career?
Yeah, in terms of your football career.
I don't know. I'm proud of it all. I'm proud of coming back for injuries, like 2 cruciates, and I had 4 knee ops in total, but 2 cruciates and being able to get back on a pitch was probably the best feeling. Like, no proud, but like the best feeling. So it feels as if you prove people wrong and that. It's like, he's done in there cruciate, and we'll come back. And you come back to playing the SPL, or like, I liked that. That was, because again, that's on the back of like 9 months of hard work that nobody sees. Like every single day you're in, when you're injured, you don't get a day off. Like every single day, it's your life. You need rehab, and you need to do a gym. Do you know what I mean? And you work harder when you're injured. It's really, really tough.
It's your job, innit?
You're in earlier than all the players. You leave later than all the players, because you're doing double, triple sessions. You're going to the pool, swimming. So probably that feeling of getting back. I remember the first, after doing that cruise ship, was the same season I got back, which I was really proud of, because I was like, season's done. Like, car crash, knee, season's done. I got back with like 3 games to go. We played Morton, and I get man of the match. I literally couldn't walk at the end. I'd trained and stuff, but I hadn't really played any reserve games. We played against Hibs in a reserve game actually, and Sean Mackey, who's at Falkirk now. I played him at Hibs as well. I swear I nearly broke my leg. I still own one. I went in the same change room, it was quite awkward when I joined Hibs, but because I said I was going to kill him.
No,
but
let it go.
he done my ankle right after I came back from my knee, and I was like, can I get a break here? So it then got to the Morton game, obviously St Mirren Morton rivalry. I'd been at Morton, get abuse off them for being a Paisley boy as well on loan. And then I played, obviously, and we beat them 3-1. I think Lawrence Shanklin scored right away, a double, absolute cracker, like right away. And it just like gave you even more adrenaline. I generally got through the game with adrenaline. My calves were cramping up at the end, I couldn't walk. But it was such a good feeling. Anyway, again, this is the best thing about like highs and lows of football life. It's like we went to Dumbarton the next week and my legs felt so heavy because I had no adrenaline. No adrenaline. There was like 500 fans here.
I felt like you're pulling extra kilos.
500 fans here. We get beat 2-1. I was terrible. I was like, oh my God. So that's it. It's just how you do it.
That's football. In terms of stadium, you mentioned playing at Ibrox. Is Ibrox the one that stands out in terms of biggest atmosphere or best atmospheres, or another one, maybe even a home St Mirren game that stand out?
I think I've played in great ones, to be honest. Ibrox, that one was very loud, like very loud. I think if you asked them down the park that night, it was mental because it was a Friday night. It was Warburton's first game. There was a big thing. They beat Hibs 6-1 or something the week before his first game. So there was a good feeling about them, and they went 2-0 up inside 5 minutes, which helps. Fratton Park, played Pompey, Portsmouth. That was the best home fans I'd ever seen. Like we were up 2-0 with Peterborough and they were still cheering and that. I was like, what's going on here? And like literally, it feels as if they're sucking the ball into the goal, like so close to you. Bristol Rovers was good, man.
Oh really?
Weird thing. It's a weird old stadium, but it was a really good atmosphere. Stadium of Light, Sunderland, they were in League One at the time, and then obviously the Edinburgh Derbies. Edinburgh Derbies were huge, amazing.
I think they're underrated, you know.
And
I only think it's the past even few years, even myself personally noticed. I just feel like they never really get looked at before. But I don't know if you always like watching, see when there's a goal in. I always like watching the fans. I don't ever really watch the fans and see them, even the Hibs and the Hearts fans. See when you see them celebrate, it's not even celebrations, but it's like pandemonium.
It's mental.
It's mental.
Like the full build up to it, but has been through there is crazy. Like every day in Edinburgh is either Hearts or Hibs. They don't really support Celtic Rangers, whereas everybody else in Scotland, you see supporters clubs, do you know what I mean? Dundee supporters club, Rangers, where Celtic supporters clubs are over there. You never see any Edinburgh because they're all Hibs and Hearts.
Yep.
And the full week through there, you get the feeling for it, and then Saturday you obviously just kick shit out each other. It's brilliant. I've got like 3 scars, man. I've played in 2 Edinburgh derbies. I've got 2 scars on my legs, man.
Saturdays with the Edinburgh derbies.
It's mental. But such a good fixture to be involved in. I think MD would say that's played in them.
Aye. Moving on to the career now, and personal training, performance coaching, probably always something as you got later into your career you probably wanted to do, if I'm right. When did you first realise that was something you wanted to move to?
I started doing a sports science degree when I was at Kelly. Went to Kilmarnock and done this knee again. And I was like, I just knew then, I was like, I've not got long left. Like, I knew it was going to take its toll on me. And I was like, well, I need to sort myself out here, life after football. So I looked into it then, and then I thought to myself, just in terms of the market, I just feel as if there was a market there, and especially the west of Scotland, to help people. Initially with rehab, I just thought like injury rehab. What do you know best for your career? And it's how to rehab properly. And I would go to, obviously I worked in David Lloyd, you would sit in the sauna and there'd be people, everybody's injured, aren't they? Like everybody's got injuries. and they never rehab properly. Or they go and see a physio and it's like, they'll go in for 15 minutes and they're in seeing 4 other people. They'll put a machine on them, right, go and do these exercises. And people sometimes come away with more questions than answers. And they're like, how the fuck did I do that? Whereas I do that now, I step in and I'll be like, right, this is what we've got to do. This is how you do the exercises. And obviously work with physios, and because I can't diagnose people, but if I took anything from my career, it's how to rehab properly. It was funny, I've rehabbed every injury apart from a shoulder injury. In my last 3 games as a football player at Davo, I ruptured my AC joint. So I had to do a full rehab for the... So it was good.
You walked the walk.
So it's funny as well, but my career, I could like crawled up in a ball and went, oh my God, why did this happen to me, my knees?
Feel sorry for yourself?
Aye, but I'm like, right, let's turn a negative into a positive. What can I offer now? Right, that's what I can offer. The rehab stuff. When that happened, I'm like, fucking hell, it was the worst, honestly. Like, you ever had a shoulder injury?
Never. But touch wood.
Honest to God, right, I couldn't sleep for like a week. Obviously AC joint completely ruptured. And I was like, And I say to people at the time, it's actually quite good, but because I'm going to go through the rehab now, 6 weeks. Yeah, and I done it, and now I know how to rehab shoulders, and I know all the stuff, because I know obviously physios from football as well that send me stuff. So it's like, right, I'm kind of set on how to structure a rehab now for shoulder injuries, which is good. That was the only thing I didn't know about. So it's probably a blessing in disguise again. And then the performance stuff, it was just in David Lloyd, and it was a young lad came up to me, his mum. He's like, oh, my boy's trying to be a professional footballer. You used to be a professional footballer, but we went with a PT in here before, but it was more kind of bodybuilding stuff. I think a lot of young athletes don't really know where to start with that, because it's a hard kind of niche to get into in terms of how to train like an athlete. Yep. So started with him, his results were amazing, and I'm like, I don't know how to, I was clueless at the time. I was like, oh, I'll post a wee video on that, and post it on LinkedIn, and parents were like, oh, that's amazing, how did I do this? And obviously, as you know, you need to be a member of David Lloyd to get PT, but I was like, that could be another thing as well. So that's how the whole idea came about. And then that was it right away. I was thinking, right, that's where I can help. Not only I used to train like that and be a professional, but my experience of what not to do. Injury prevention stuff as well.
Yep.
Like if I knew the stuff I knew now, I'd be doing it every day, and I'd still be playing football. Do you know what I mean? In terms of glutes and all that stuff, do I get too technical? But all the injury prevention stuff as well, that kids probably don't get looked after as much these days as well.
What's the learning curve like going from being coached to being the coach?
I don't know, it's kind of came natural. I liked it.
I was going to say that, has it been kind of natural?
Aye, I've always liked it. I've always kind of probably been more a leader in a sense. I hated being captain at my clubs. I actually hated it. Even at Peterborough and stuff, I didn't like it. See, dealing with tickets and all that, you had to sort the players' tickets and go and ask a gaffer for more bonus and all that. I fucking hated that stuff, honestly.
Do you have the wee sheet?
And I'm too, like, have a laugh as well, but as I said, I do like to win and try and work hard and stuff like that, so
You've got a good balance.
I liked being a leader within the group, but I didn't like just being the captain, do you know what I mean? I used to have a laugh at that just at the end of my career as well, like Queen's Park and all that. I'd say I'm the unofficial club captain and that, somebody else can have it, but you all know I'm the captain and that, having a laugh. But I liked it, but I liked to laugh as well. So I think that's helped in terms of, especially dealing with, as I said earlier, the PT stuff, because you want to make it fun, and the kids stuff as well, because everybody's robotic now in the fitness industry as well. It's like,
same.
Did you hit your macros this week? And like you see people doing videos and you're like, oh my god, how do people pay you money to go here? Like, and I want to get away from that, but I want to kind of normalise it being normal. Do you know what I mean? And just having a bit of fun with it as well. With PT's not my biggest thing. I can do PT, of course. I'm not going to phone you up at the weekend or comment on your photo saying, what you doing eating that pizza? Like, I want that balance as well, obviously. Yep. I'm the worst for it.
Yeah.
Said earlier, found in Greg's. But
I forgot about it, mate.
Aye. But even in the kids stuff helps, obviously.
Aye.
Like, because I've got so much energy. I'm still young. I've got so much energy still to burn. So even now, like, I've got a new coach in this week. Diane, she's brilliant as well. She started, but I'm still there and I'm kind of overseeing it. So I'm always there with the kids, and I want to get into that role eventually in terms of like mentorship rather than actually individually take sessions, but just oversee it kind of thing about the gym. So that's where I see a kind of long-term vision, but I've loved it, honestly. It's been the last year. It's actually a year to the day I got the lease for my place, so
it's like we celebratory moment, mate. Sitting here.
I'm going to Scotland game tonight. I'm going
to
there we go.
Going to Scotland.
There we go. Vodka slimline tonic.
When this is out, mate, we'll know if we're going or not. So,
hopefully.
My fingers are crossed. What do you think separates a good trainer from a great trainer?
Attitude. Just attitude. Body language, willingness to learn, as you say, sponge. They need to buy into it, really, don't they? But again, the trainer needs to be good as well to get the energy out of somebody, and everybody's different. So like a lot of it's to do with environment as well. If you're with somebody that doesn't get the best out of you, whether it's football, PT, office job, you're not going to be the best version of yourself, are you really? So relationships is a massive thing in terms of, and then just obviously discipline. Discipline is like motivation's not going to last, is it really? Some days you're motivated. I'd say 1 out of 7 days I'm motivated. I think one out of 7 maybe to train and stuff. I just get it. You just get it done. You know what it's like. So there's got to be that discipline there, and then I think they need to have goals. I think that's a big thing. Like a MD that I have in training with me, and you can applaud along. It doesn't matter what your goal is, how small it is, or how big it is. You need to have a goal, and then set obviously smaller goals, all that stuff as well. But there needs to be a kind of end game, because if you're just going about it, you're not really going to get the best out of it. And that doesn't need to be you're going to run a 10k or anything like that. It can be the smallest goal ever. Do you know what I mean? I want to lift my grandchild again, or I want to make it as a footballer, a professional footballer. I want to play in the Champions League, whatever it is. But you need to have like a goal and like a vision. Then you can set a plan. Like, this is how we're going to achieve this goal.
Do you get a lot of people coming to you that don't actually have a goal in mind? They've got the idea of where they maybe want to go, but they just don't have any goals.
I had only one, and I said to them recently, I was like, by the way, what's the goal here? Because we need to have something. Because that's the biggest thing. I want to improve people, whether it's mentally, physically, whatever it is. Your goal could be mentally as well. Doesn't need to always be physically, but there has to be a goal. And then when you reach that, the appetite will be there for something else, and that's how you then become better for me. Because really, if you're not going away for a session either happy or improved mentally, something like that, you either learn something. Do you know what I mean? Or you're further towards where you want to be. Me as well as a trainer, do you know what I mean? That's why I think it's really good to know. I've got that hunger. I want to help people, whether it's an injury. Like I push a day when I have a laugh in my sessions, but when people are working, and they'll tell you that, they'll probably vouch for that, all my clients are working, do you know what I mean?
You're not taking half a session, it's like you're in here to work your work, but outside that, you know what the balance is.
They work, but especially rehab and injuries, because it's tough, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of getting back with your knee injury. You need to work really hard to rehab an injury, but the benefits outweigh that hard work, and it's such a good feeling then, especially everyday life. Do you know just athletes, like I had one on my last post, Big Darren. He was running with pain for 6 years and he thought it was normal. Do you know what I mean? It's just like he's popping the proxin to go jogs, and I'm like, nah, like
that's not sustainable.
And then like people think that is the norm. So that's important, obviously.
Do you feel like there's similarities between general clients and young footballers in terms of the way you coach or train them? Or do you feel like completely different?
Everybody's different, aren't they? I think that's what makes a good trainer. Is like they're not just across the board, everything. Every single person's different, and that's what I love about my job as well, is the variety in it. I say this to clients as well. I think that's why I've got so much energy. No one session's the same. I could have I've got an older lady, Joyce, who came to me with 2 chronic arthritis in her knees. She's climbed Kilimanjaro and Machu Picchu since. And then I'll have a 10-year-old for Hearts or St Mirren come into me next. Do you know what I mean? And it just goes, obviously, they've got different energy to them what Joyce has got, and Joyce has got a lot of energy as well, obviously. And then there'll be a injury rehab session. Do you know what I mean? So it's 3 different services, but they're all different. Even in terms of PT, everybody's different. And everybody's had a different day. So you can't be the same with some people as others, and I think that's what makes a good coach as well. And again, going back to the training stuff, get the best out of the environment. So if you're having a rubbish time, you're coached, book in.
on yourself. It's that adaptability, isn't it? Like, I feel as you progress as a trainer or a coach, it's been able to identify different problems in different people and find the best solution, not just one size fits all, which I think has been a very common thing in the past 10-15 years with trainers, and I feel like nowadays trainers are more likely to be adaptable than they were before, and obviously yourself being very adaptable with older clients that are wanting to, you know, climb mountains, or younger clients that are wanting to progress into football. With your future and where you're wanting to go, where what do you feel is next for you? More athletes, online coaching, what any events? What's your next steps? What's your future for yourself?
Well, on Sunday I've got Marcus Fraser and Mark O'Hara coming in, which isn't a very short term, but obviously captain of St Mirren, vice captain, to speak to all my boys and girls, like younger athletes, which is really good for them. And I'm going to try and make that kind of consistent. That's probably one positive again, that I've still got these contacts at boys that are playing at a top level. So that first, in terms of a workshop, fun day for them, question and answer. In the future, I want to be like the biggest in terms of like I want a warehouse of good service for people that we spoke about earlier. Rehab, sports performance, PT. I want a massive warehouse, and like I want people, the service to be that good that people don't think twice when they have a problem in terms of injuries. It's like, right, I'm going to book in there because that's the best place to go. Or sports performance for the kid. Well, that's the only place to go. Like I want that, and I want to provide such a good service at a fair price, because I feel as if, again, fitness industry is, people have took the piss for the last, I don't know how many years that I've seen it anyway, in terms of that. And then obviously the other side, the physio stuff, and I'm not saying every physio is bad, but a lot of people get let down as well. So I think there's a better service there to be had. So again, if you do the volume at a fair price, you're going to make money anyway. And then everybody's a winner, because people feel as if they're getting value out of it, because they will get value out of it, and I'll get value out of it. Obviously, helping people is generally, and I get more a buzz out of that. I could swear down my B-boy's life about that than the money that then comes, the benefit that comes from that. Do you know what I mean? Me seeing somebody jump higher or sprint faster or recover from an injury that's had them be paying for 6 years, that is generally my motivation, because I know what it's like to be on that side of it as well, and so grateful to all the physios and sports scientists that helped me throughout my career. That's my full motivation to get into it. I just want the biggest kind of thing in the west of Scotland in terms of sports performance, injury rehab and PT for people.
Go on.
Aye.
I'm for it, mate.
That's the vision. That's the vision. It's generally been the vision for the last 2 years, and everything's been set in stone for that to happen. Got the job at David Lloyd, and they were amazing with me. Again, over in Renfrew, Fraser, the manager, every staff member amazing, like making a transition from professional football to normal life, as you want to call it, PT, whatever it was. But working with people, got the experience of working with people, because I'd never worked with them. Do you know what I mean? Really enjoyed it, and then I was like, again, timing. Right, that's the right time. I need to go for this now. And it has been the right time, touch wood. Last year's been amazing for me. And again, just so grateful. I can't, as I said, I checked my phone today, I literally can't believe it's been a year since I getting the lease. And like I've delivered, I don't know how many sessions, I don't know how many clients, and I obviously had to get another coach on board, who's a brilliant coach as well, and I just want to go for there and just keep expanding. But the most important thing for me is, number one, helping people, and the service obviously provided.
Mate, I don't think I can finish it off any better way than that, but listen, doing all the right things, using your connections and where you've been in your life, and I think using that in a real positive way to help people, you know, that maybe feel that they can be helped, and coming to yourself. And you know, I would advise anybody that's looking for a little bit of help to go to yourself. But listen, mate, thank you so much for your time today, talking us through your journey, and listen, good luck for the future.
Cheers.
Going to Scotland tonight.
Appreciate it, I know. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.